Hi, this is Tutoring for You, and today I want to talk to you about using an online dictionary and thesaurus when you're learning. So there are two main situations in which you'll use an online dictionary or thesaurus while you're learning. Situation number one is if you see a word and you don't know the meaning, but you need to know the meaning to understand something. So situation one is to understand a word. Situation two is for vocabulary exercises. So if your teacher asks you to find the definition of some word, the part of speech of a word, synonyms for a word, anything like that, you can find those in the dictionary or the thesaurus. Your teacher might tell you what dictionary that she wants you to use, at which point you'll of course have to use that dictionary. But if she doesn't, you have a few options, and I'll be showing them to you today. So one option is what's pulled up on the screen right now. This is the Cambridge Learner's Dictionary, which can be found at dictionary.cambridge.org/US. So you have three main ways to get to this dictionary. Option one is to type this link into your address bar, dictionary.cambridge.org/US. Option two is to click on this link in the description of the video that you're watching. And option three is a Google search, or another search engine. So if I go to Google and I type in Cambridge Learner's Dictionary, this will be the first result that pops up. dictionary.cambridge.org/US/dictionary/learnersenglish. So now we're at this dictionary. This isn't the only online dictionary, and your teacher may prefer, if you're in university, that you don't use a learner's dictionary. In that case, you have a few other options. One is the Merriam-Webster dictionary, which is typically thought of as an American dictionary. And you have the same options for how to get there as you did for the Cambridge dictionary. So option one is to type this link in your address bar. Option two is to click on the link in the video description. And option three is to search for the title. In this case, Merriam-Webster. They also have a learner's dictionary if you prefer. Another reputable dictionary is the Oxford English Dictionary. Which can be found at en.oxforddictionaries.org. No matter what dictionary site you're using, once you're there, there should be a search bar like this, or this, or this. And into that search bar, you're going to type the word that you want to define. So in the case of our lesson today, let's try to define the word study. We've come up with a number of definitions. Let's try it in this one. Here, it's just giving us the verb definition, but it also gives us the option to look at similar words, including the noun definition here. So once you see a definition, there are actually a few parts there. The main part is the definition itself. In this entry, it's to learn about a subject, usually at school or university. So the definition is what the word means. In this dictionary here, they explain it this way: the devotion of time and attention to gaining knowledge of an academic subject, especially by the means of books. And then they give a few other definitions that might happen. A detailed investigation and analysis of a subject or situation. A room used or designed for reading, writing, or academic work. A piece of work, especially a drawing done for practice or as an experiment. And a thing or person that is an embodiment or good example of something. And then they give us a set of verb definitions much the same way. Devote time and attention to gaining knowledge of an academic subject, especially by means of books. Look closely in order to observe or read. And finally, make an effort to achieve a result or take into account a person or their wishes. So we have quite a few definitions to work with here. So I'm actually going to use the Merriam-Webster dictionary when showing you the different parts of the definition now, because it's a little bit more adult than the Learner's Dictionary, but it's a little bit better organized, in my opinion, than the Oxford Dictionary. So the parts of a definition, once you find a word in the online dictionary. First you have the word, in this case, study. Somewhere near the word will be the part of speech, noun, verb, etc. You'll also see a guide for pronunciation. Sometimes it will look like this, and sometimes it will be written in plain letters. Finally, near the word in online dictionaries only, you'll probably see a little speaker button, and if you click on it, you can hear the pronunciation of the words. In some dictionaries, they may give you a choice between UK and US pronunciations. There's just one here, one pronunciation. But here, in the Cambridge Dictionary, they give you the US and UK pronunciation. Alright, so far we had the word, pronunciation, audio button, and part of speech. If we scroll down just a little, we'll see the definition. There's actually a number of definitions. Here's one definition, or one set, a state of complication. Set 2 are definitions that are all related to each other. In this case, they're all related to carefully thinking about something. Here's a third definition, and a fourth. Number 5 has more than one definition in it again, which means that it's related definitions. 6, 7, and 8. There are 8 possible definitions for this word in American English. If you continue scrolling down, you'll probably see the etymology of the word, which means where it came from. In this case, this word first appeared in English sometime in the 14th century. If this definition was confusing to you, you could also look at the definition for English language learners or children to help you understand. Finally, if you keep scrolling down, you'll see examples in a sentence. So in this case, becoming a doctor requires years of study. You can improve your knowledge of the natural world by study and observation, etc. On this dictionary only, you have some extra links. So you have a link to read more about the etymology, which is again where it came from. You have a link to see some extra synonyms, which are words that mean the same thing, etc. Let's take a look at another online dictionary, because even though they're all similar, they're not identical. So we're back to the same word in the Oxford Living Dictionaries. Once again, you first have the word, study. They did not write out the pronunciation this time, but they gave you the speaker to hear the pronunciation. Then they gave you a number of definitions. All of the definitions that start with 1 are a set, just like 1A, 1B, 1C, etc. were on the last definition. Likewise, all of the definitions that start with 2 go together. They're all very similar uses. And then you have definitions 3, 4, and 5 here as noun definitions. So the part of speech was up here at the top, noun. Study can also be a verb. So down here you have verb definitions. Once again, everything that has a 1 at the beginning is very similar. It goes together. Then you also have 2 and 3. This dictionary gives you the pronunciation written out down here, as well as the speaker again. It gives you the origin or etymology, which means where it came from. And you can click to see the example sentences or the synonyms. Synonyms are words that mean the same thing. One more example. This one is the Learner's Dictionary. So it gives us once again the word, the written out pronunciation, the speaker to hear the US and UK pronunciation, and the part of speech as a verb. Here's the definition and some example sentences. If you keep scrolling down, you see a second definition with an example sentence and the option to translate it into your native language. Here, as we scroll down further, are related words. So instead of giving us every possible definition at once like the other dictionaries did, this requires us to click for alternate definitions. So the only one that's an identical word is study here, which is a noun, whereas we've just learned about it as a verb. So you would click this for the noun definition. All right, so I know that this is turning into a lengthy lesson, but I wanted to give multiple examples since each dictionary can look different. Something else that your teacher might ask for, or that might help you understand a word, is the use of synonyms. So a synonym is a word that means the same thing as another word. So love and adore are synonyms. Underneath and below are synonyms. So one place that you can find synonyms is in the dictionaries that we already used, where I showed you that there was either a list of synonyms or a place to click for synonyms. But another place that you can find them is in a thesaurus. A thesaurus definitions that just shows the synonyms for words. In this case, we can go to thesaurus.com to get synonyms. Then, if we type in the word study in the search bar as we have so far, instead of getting a definition, we get a list of words. All of these words mean the same thing as some meaning of the word study. In this case, the noun meaning. If you needed a synonym for the verb to contemplate or learn, you would click this tab here. Meanwhile, if you needed a synonym for the verb to examine or analyze, study again, but to examine or analyze, you would click that one there. I'm not sure why it scrolled down. You have a few other options on thesaurus.com too that you don't have on a dictionary definition. One is to use this bar to set how complex you want the word to be, like the advancedness of the level. Scroll back up. It's been doing that today on multiple sites, I'm not sure why. The other is to choose the length. You can make it longer by pulling it to the right, or shorter by pulling it to the left. In here, more complex by pulling it to the right. Stop it. Stop it. And less complex by pulling it to the left. Once again, to get to this site, you can type Thesaurus into a search engine. Type www.thesaurus.com into your address bar, or click the link in the description of this video. So I know this was a longer video than usual and a bit repetitious, but I hope it was helpful.